Bonjour friends and welcome this evening for a new episode of I See by Ilanit, an intimate conversation around spiritual topic. You are all welcome for wherever you log in to participate by clicking on the blue link StreamYard and come live with me in the studio and either participate to the conversation of tonight, have some question and answer, or simply receive some intuitive guidance and mindful life coaching if this is what you are seeking tonight. And I have to say, it's been quite some time now that I'm coming, and even though there's still some butterfly inside of me, like I guess like anyone, you'll be a singer, and there's always this nervous moment before you go in stage. Just wanted to share all this love of this light that comes through me, but keep getting on better. The more I come and the more I get excited, and I hope this is the same for you. So just to remind you, from wherever you logged in, whether it is from my page, my profile, Joseph or Kristen, we can either communicate by you coming live and clicking on the link of StreamYard, or by sending message. And like I said in the past, it seems that for some reason Facebook doesn't allow messages depending from what source they're coming. So I'm not sure if it's a matter of being private or page, but hopefully enough people come and we interact, because it really gets me going just to be able, to have that interaction and kind of have this exchange. So the way I like to do things, for the ones that are familiar, it's to introduce a topic, and I like to say, spirituality is an ongoing learning journey, and there's so many angles that one subject can be addressed. There is actually a great sage that used to say that for one truth that is revealed into the world about something from the divine, two others are hidden. And this is just to remind us that there is layer upon layer to get at the core of why we're here. What is the sacred language that can exist between us and the source, the divine, and constantly kind of a game of hide and seek, how we can really understand better why things are happening and what are the secrets behind it. So for the one that already saw the message I posted earlier today, I gave a title for today, and I'm going to read it. It's Imperfect, Impatient, Impossible. They all carry within them, I am perfect, I am patient, I am possible. So to be or not to be? That is the question for tonight. And I hope you will jump into the trend and try to participate with me. And because this is how I like to do when you welcome here in the space of I See by Ilanit, a space that wants to be of love and light, would like to set an intention for tonight. So I'm going to use my singing bowl to give the sound and create, vibration where we all going to unify wherever we are. And the intention of tonight in regard of this topic is to connect to the gift of just being. So tell yourself, I am connecting to the gift of just being. Very nice. So when you are live with a singing bowl, the sound is lasting longer than probably what you can hear on the computer. And this sound is just clearing everything and set you in a space of stillness. And really, the sound can last for longer than even what we can hear. So, about this topic, I have to be honest with you. I wasn't always neither feeling in my life in that place of mindfulness. It didn't mean that I wasn't on my journey of spirituality, which started in a very early age, but compared to what I like to call the second chapter of my life, because there was so much message coming my way telling me that I wasn't perfect, that no matter what I did, I was never feeling that I was fitting good enough. I did lose patience internally and feeling that life was just impossible. Just to give you a few stepping stones about my upbringing, whether was it in my family environment that because of the dynamic of my parents, which were just not easy to say the least, it never felt like a safe environment as a child where you felt you were the focus of the love and the energy of making you feel that you are the king of the queen of the world. And so that was the first experience, the first place where I grew up, remembering that, well, life is not that much empowering and doesn't feel that good. And if it wasn't enough, when I reached the age of 12, I started getting very much bullied at school. So even among my fellow students, which could have been compensating what I was not feeling I was getting from home, there also I was feeling I was kicked onto the curb, making me feel that I was not perfect at all, because many times the bullying was affecting in terms of the physics, in the term of uh, are you pretty, not pretty enough. And if it wasn't enough, a little bit later in my early young adult life, I also experienced my first and only really a relationship that was very also traumatically and abusive. And all those experience, even though I was having a very close relationship with God, the way I was raised, like I shared in the past, I was raised in a very Orthodox Jewish family with a father that was a rabbi. I did find my connection with God on my own, and this conversation with God that always make me feel, wow, the divine realm is so amazing, so empowering, so loving. And I was the type, if I have to be honest, of people, and I heard even a few times that among people in my family, that is only on the other side, once we cross over, that we can find joy and happiness and fulfillment. And I have to say, especially when I shared a whole year in that relationship that really affected me to the core of my being and left me almost with nothing. My family, the people around me couldn't understand why I was getting so sick. And it was really because my spirit was really drained out and the life was drained out of from this relationship to a point, and this is where I want to link with the subject, to the point that I remember at some point losing so much weight and feeling sick, but there was no physical reason for it. Passing out one day, literally, like losing consciousness, being brought to a hospital, and remembering having this experience of a golden light and also a presence telling me, you gotta have to go back because there's so much work you're supposed to do. Interesting story. Less than a week after that, I traveled to Florida where I visited family because it was the winter break. And got my introduction to the world of Kabbalah. And was really the beginning of a new chapter for me, a new chapter that life, we need to have patience. We are perfect and everything is possible. So we will go a little bit deeper on this teaching in a moment, but I see that I have a lot of visitors this evening. So let me see who's there. Dylan, I see you. I don't know if you can hear me. It's so great to see you. So just want to say hi. Hey. I have my friend Kimberly that is here also. Hey, love. And Laura. Laura, I know also she's a very great supporter of Kristen and Joseph. So Dylan, you want to come in? Yeah? Give me a thumbs up if you want to come say no. Yeah? Okay. I'm going to bring you in. Hey.
How's it going?
Good. How's the jet lag?
Good. I just flew in from Israel.
Yes,
Yeah.
I know Shmuel told me he just saw you.
Yeah.
So this is what I do every Tuesday at 8 p.m. for a couple of months now. So I come, I teach, I try to really share all this information that come intuitively and whatever I learned through the years, and also I take on colors and use all different type of tools, to bring guidance and just to open the conversation about what's going on with them and how they can see the light. Like I said, to always see life through a mindful eye. So, so I know
Cool.
you're going on the, yes, it's pretty cool. Would you like to try tonight with me to see if we get a message for you?
Sure.
Okay. So let's try this one. So I tell people, it's not about doing prediction or reading into the future, because I really don't believe in that at all. I think we're creator, but is much more like what you will do, because all the cards I'm using, they either from Kabbalistic teaching or they're just affirmation. And this is just like for people that listen, it's just the same idea that we have in every spiritual thing, is to know that God is trying to communicate to us. And we just need to look at the messages that he's putting around. Can be picking the right book at the bookstore or the library, or hearing a song on the radio that answers the question that you have in your mind, or opening the Psalm of David, or opening the book of the Torah or the Zohar, just to say, okay, send me a message that is resonate with me. So all those affirmation, they just try to, what I tell people is just be with me. Let's create between you and me a space where God can rest between us and give us a message. So I know, I
Cool.
don't know if you want to share with people a little bit after that are listening, a little bit of yourself. I know you're going on consolidating what you have learned in your spiritual journey as well, and trying to help people that want to get some enlightenment to hope on the same trend you took. So I'm just going to close
So,
my eyes. Go ahead.
sure. So I'm going on a spiritual journey to work with plant medicine in Costa Rica, and I'm leaving to a ayahuasca retreat in Costa Rica in a month. So I came to the U.S. to take care of some business and family matters for 2 weeks, and then I'm going to go on this journey with my father to seek more spiritual truth and questions
Beautiful.
and answers that I'm looking for.
That's beautiful. And just to remind, for many people, maybe even especially in our community, there is a lot of taboo, I will say, about, for example, plant medicine. It is, first of all, I think, a personal journey. I can tell for myself, I always receive that to receive the enlightenment, I need to remain as clear as possible. Like I remember, I never even drink really alcohol, because I was told that in that journey in particular is too much more conduct of action that I would get the enlightenment. But I do respect people that do it for the sake of connecting. If obviously then it doesn't become a trap where eventually the tools become the focus that you have, the only tools. But to remind even for people that are a little bit more not so open-minded and yet curious, the idea of connecting with plants, connecting with nature, connecting with crystals, always been part of every tradition, including Judaism. We know, for example, that the Kohen was having the breastplate, 12 stone representing the 12 tribes, but also the 12 sign of the zodiac, and they will activate to give answer. Same with plants, means we use incense, we use medicinal plant to connect to the spirit. And like I said, I think nowadays, because there's this two polarity of physicality being so strong and very harsh, even lately, more and more people would like to find a way to go into the matrix of the system and create a shift where you can get back control, that your soul can get back control and reintroduce the connection with the divine. So if you want to take a deep breath for me and meditate to get a message that's going to guide you in that journey. Okay. Okay, so the card I got, very nice. It's a card that connects to the third chakra. Okay, the third chakra is in the solar plexus. And I think we discussed a lot of that. It's about connecting to the sun within you. The sun is the father figure, is the sign of Leo, is the lion that is the king of the jungle within you. So it's really about that journey to get in touch with your own personal power, your own sunlight, how can you becoming more attuned, more assertive about what is your power, what is your mission, and how you can radiate this toward the people that you're supposed to affect. The message, so I'm going to read the different messages that is given in that card in particular. It says, I choose to be myself and to express my truth. I have a positive influence on the people and the situation around me. And so you need always, wherever you step in, and I know that about you, you come with a lot of humility and you're not assertive about who you are. Do you really have? I remember the time you were really young, and I think one of the first time I spoke with you, you were not at all believing that whatever you went through in life was meaning that you were supposed to have a special destiny, that you were supposed one day to be a teacher or a guide for other people. And it's good in a way because it makes you being humble, but it also, sometimes where we are so humble, we kind of retreat back of the responsibility that is placed upon us. So it's not going knowing what it is exactly, but putting yourself at service and becoming, the channel for whatever God wants you to deliver or to do for other people. And you see, they're talking about remaining in integrity about who you are and having this confidence. Work on that confidence that you have something to share, that you have certain belief that you went through and you have a story to write. Okay. And yes, and it's to help you. So you have this excess, I would say, of humility and of knowing, because probably balancing, maybe other influence around you or other people that were models that have this excess of Leo energy, and I know who I am, and I go into the room and people better listen. So it's kind of to counterbalance and to find this energy of the sun within you, and to know that you have something special to share with people, and just to come from the heart and to do that part, not to shy away from it. Okay, I think it's
Yeah,
pretty in tune.
it's crazy. Like I think it was like 2 months ago, you called me out of the blue and
Yes,
told me that you had a dream about me and you had something to share with me. And then like we had a call on the phone and you were sharing with me this third chakra is one that I
yeah.
need to work on. I forgot
The
what it's
truth.
called.
It was to
The
express yourself,
third
remember.
chakra exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's interesting.
So now to express it, you need to tune, so is any, basically, I know you practice yoga, is anything that you connect at the core, you connect into really that's chi energy that is locked here, and to try to, like a Dragon Ball Z, you have the ball of light coming and that you send out into the world, so. Okay, so
Yeah,
that
thank
sounds
you.
like you're so welcome. I have some other people, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to take another teaching moment, but stay in, listen. There's a lot of interesting. I think the topic tonight will definitely talk to you a lot. So if you want to keep listening, and hopefully we can get to catch up when you're here.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Okay, Dylan. Good night then.
Right.
All right. So I know that Kimberly was here. I hope you're still listening. And I see Julie is here. Hi, Julie. And Christopher. Wonderful to see you around. I see Laura is there. So I'm going to continue a little bit on the topic I'm talking. But people that are listening, please feel free to click on the blue link StreamYard and just like Dylan did, just to come live, say hello, give some thought about what I'm talking about, or like I said, just to get some intuitive and mindful guidance. Okay, so so I was talking about this idea. Let me see before I go there. Yeah, everyone is well. Thank you, Julie. And don't hesitate. If you have any question also, I want to say for the people that are a bit more shy, I understand I was you. I'm still overcoming this me, I will say. You can post also a comment. The only thing is, depending from where you logged in onto the show, it might not come to me. So try different of the location, or just click on StreamYard and just send a message. That will work as well. If you don't want to come live, just give me a thumbs down. Okay. So like I was saying, many times when life gets very intense, we start having those very strong feelings that make us question, is life meant to be happy? Is life meant to be fulfilling? Would I ever get there? Is it possible? Or when everything around me saying impossible, right? So to shift the consciousness, we got to go to the understanding that everything goes in polarity. And like I said at the beginning of the question, the same way in one word you get both impossible, I am possible, is the idea of to be or not to be. Which one is the way? Because it seems that you're telling me I am possible, but all I see is impossible. And many spiritual teaching will tell you to answer those questions. We need to go back to the original duality, and we need to learn about death to truly be able to live. Now, there is a very profound teaching that can help us understand, how to do that, is to first realize that death is not the end of life, is the absence of living. In a purely theoretical level, we know that death doesn't exist. Okay, so we can already remove that and we can say there's no such a thing as death. But there is this really well spread, I would say, blockage that we might be physically existing into the world, but not truly being alive, living life. And the reason why is because we somehow are not mindful of the process. We are not active partner in the process of give and take, life and death. And so to become mindful is really the first step that we need to take to be able really to be in tune with being alive. Now, let me explain to you what's happening. The mind is this powerful instance that can many times being focused on negative thinking. And the reason is almost biological, is normal. Why? Because as humankind, we are problem solver. We're not going to focus on what is working, but we're going to see what is not working. And so by nature, our thought going to be more focused about what is a threat, what is a potential threat. Now, when we are habited by negative thoughts, many times we create also negative feelings, negative emotion that goes into the body. And then those negative emotion cause us to have reactive negative reactions, whether they can be toward other people or toward ourselves. And really what is happening is all those two instances are keep affecting each other back and forth. If our thoughts are negative, our emotion become negative, or reaction become negative. But then if we have reactive action, then it creates negative feeling, and negative feeling trigger negative thought, and those negative thought trigger negative thoughts from the past. And so we never leave that wheel of negativity, and we are stuck in there. So this concept of to be or not to be, it's to realize that all those negative chatter that tell us, I am not perfect, I am impossible, and I don't have the patience to go through the process, we need to remind ourselves that within them they carry the antidote. However, we cannot, and this is what the first point I wrote, we cannot we cannot stop or fight our thoughts. Because here what's happened. The thoughts, they are just what makes us human. And so we cannot fight them. We cannot stop them. What we can do is to learn to observe them in a non-judgmental way and let them go, or do whatever we can to not respond to them. Okay? So those thoughts are not really the problem if we are capable to become mindful about them. Those negative thoughts, if we cannot just stop and witness them, then they trigger more reactive thought from the past. And the reason why, if let's say you are in a situation where you feel stuck, where you feel life is not moving, what the mind's going to do is going to travel into the past where you experience something very similar and try to understand what was the answer that was able to get you out of it. And all what you do is being surrounded and immersed into negative thought. So what we need to start doing is just be and breathe. And that's what breathing is so important. Because when we breathe and we allow the soul to just being observed and let go, we cannot continue and perpetuate through the laws of attraction that a negative thought bring another negative thought. Or us saying, I don't want this negative thought anymore. And all what we do is to think negative, right? So really it's to start developing exercise and technique that's going to allow us to not just take care of the thought and take care of how to be by the mind. Other thing that's going to take us out of the mind. Okay, so first to observe them is the first thing, is to realize that all those thoughts, they're not really us. They're byproduct of our mind. Okay, and we have a choice not to respond to them. And so for last part, we will discuss different techniques, different tools that I want to share with you about how we can eventually check things, infiltrate the programming, and create a renewal to change that programming for a positive one. But I see that Laura is here. Laura, do you want to come up to say hello? Give me a thumbs up. Yes, fantastic.
Good. Hey,
Good evening. Hey, Laura. How are
nice
you?
to see you.
Good.
And
Nice to see you.
there. Oh my God, I lost you.
Just take your time. How's the sound? Sound sounds nice tonight, right? No echo.
What? No
I say
echo. Very good.
the sound is good. So I learned that many times it has to do with the microphone. So if
Uh-huh.
people put the sounds too loud, I am using earbuds. Sometimes it creates this
Okay.
echo. So tell
Okay.
me, how are you doing? How was this week?
Very good.
Yeah,
Very good. Yeah.
I'm glad.
I gotta get focused here. I
Okay.
you're reading. We when
Mm-hmm.
we spoke last time, the cards and everything
Yes,
about self-love. I've been working on it.
I clearly remember. So tell me, what did you do? Share
Okay.
with the people that are listening tonight.
Fortunately, well, I had some medical things that I had to do, which were really important. So that's a form of self love, big time these days.
Absolutely. Taking care
And
of ourselves and more practical things are part also of self-care.
but before I went and did that, I went and got a pedicure, and then I went and took care of all my medical things. I ordered me a new bedspread, and
Nice.
I backtracked to your colors, and I got into colors,
That's good.
and so there's a lot of things going on, and it's working.
That's
You know.
beautiful. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing. And
Mhm.
it's this is what I always talk. Living a mindful life is work. It's like knowing that going on a treadmill and the same a person goes to the gym. You don't exercise for a few days and you can notice your muscle are tightening up. And so to fit, to become mindfully fit is really something that we need to be aware of and practice on daily basis. So now it's, of course, I always tell people, I'm very big, I was always like this on discipline. Okay.
Mhm.
But sometimes it can be a little bit have the dark side of it, because sometimes you take commitment. And it's funny, I was saying that this morning. I tend, for example, and there is people like this, we call us the A plus people. We tend to always overload ourselves and say we're going to do all those things, and eventually we might do it once, twice, three times, but it requires a lot of effort to do that, and eventually then it's like being caught into the wheels. We never can catch up because there's other thing in life that we need to do. So I think we need to be honest with ourselves, challenge yourself, but also knowing that it's better to evaluate what we can do, even in the area of self-care, and being able to do it than put too much pressure on ourselves, and then eventually it has the opposite effect because we feel bad.
Yeah.
Oh, I was supposed to go and run every day and I didn't do it. And then
Mhm.
eventually, it gets into your mind again. So it
Yeah.
just to have realistic expectation, and not having so much high-end expectation, just finding what is fair, and to look around. What can I do today? And sometimes maybe say, okay, I was supposed to do that. I'm going to do something a little bit lighter because now it fits much more my schedule or where I'm at today. Okay. But it's an ongoing journey of always making sure we balance what we give and what we get from other, but also for ourselves, So let me do something different with you tonight.
Okay.
Uh,
And
I've been I've been introducing, different knowledge for lots of people that are not familiar with the spiritual teaching from the Bible, known as the teaching of Kabbalah. Kabbalah has been many times, referred as Judaic mysticism, but really the teaching was originating from the time of creation with Adam, which basically is
right,
the father of humanity. And so really it's the language of the soul, the language of creation. So there is the 22 Hebrew letters that form the alphabet, but also as a numerical system, are here to almost like the DNA of the soul, the DNA of creation. So I would love to pick one for you tonight and see what would be the message for you. So if you want to meditate, to connect to the original thought of creation and how you are a spark of light into this world, and to get your message for tonight. Okay, got a letter Kuf. You see this one? So this letter is the only letter out of the 22 that goes below the line of writing. Okay, you see that part? This part goes below. Okay, that letter of Kuf is the first letter of the word Kabbalah. It's also the letter that created the sign of Pisces. And this is to tell us that we must sometimes delve within us, within maybe a little bit the darker water, the darkest water of ourselves, to what we call recollect the light that we have left there. And so in resonance with what we talked last week, it's to delve deep about the places, I would say, within you that you let go of yourself, that maybe you neglected yourself, right? And
right,
just to ask yourself, ask those questions. When did I give up on this? When did I let that go? Why did I let that go? What caused it? And to maybe through journaling, to write down your thoughts. What was the trigger? Did I not think I was deserving it? Did I think, giving to others is more valuable than giving to myself? Okay, so you see, it's a continuity, I would say, into what we started working together with that letter. We know that that letter Kof is the 19th letter of the 22 alphabet letter. 19 can be, in numerology, can become a 10, 9 plus 1, or a 1. Is to remind that you are in charge of your reality with the help of the divine, because we know that the 10 or the 1 is in resonance. Let me show you. 10 is that letter which is the smallest. Now you see how this letter is also part of that letter. You see the top of it? Because that
right,
letter is included in every other letter. What does it tell you? It is beautiful to have humility, but you need to remember that humility is also a way to access, your highest potential. So you cannot also completely bury yourself all the way down, like in that letter, all the way down on the ground. Nope. It's beautiful to have humility, but you cannot give up of yourself all the way and go under, a hole. Okay, so this is this
Mhm.
reminder that you not only deserve, but in order to help other people, you need to also remind
Mhm.
yourself, remind who you are, remind what is your gift, what is your light, and respect it and honor it. Okay. um,
Mhm.
and like I said, this letter is inviting you for an internal work of delving deeper. Where are your fears? Where are your negative thinking that maybe you don't deserve the thing beautiful in your life? Okay. And so
Mhm.
just to consciously say, no, I'm going to give myself, I'm going to continue each day. It doesn't have to be big, small thing, looking at
Mhm.
yourself in the mirror every day and saying something nice to yourself. What comes to me is, how do you talk about yourself from the moment you wake up until you go at night? Notice when you go through your day and you do things, what do you tell yourself? Are you great? Look at how much you achieved today. Or are you telling you, really you're good for nothing? Okay?
Right. Yeah.
So keep creating your own beautiful word, telling yourself how beautiful you are, how unique you are, and shining your light, because as you do, you really affect people even more than just what you give to others. When you
Right.
show the path to people of self care, of connecting with the divine within, you give them, all they need to do everything on their own. More than just being provided the food is the idea. You give them the seed and you teach them how to plant and to become their own gardener of their own lives. Okay? So I want to keep hearing from you about that journey, what comes, and like I said, sometimes taking care of yourself is to take this quiet time and sit and write and acknowledge those questions that I mentioned.
Yes.
Okay, Laura?
I've been taking some quiet time.
Good, good.
Yes, I definitely have. And I've been
Well,
making it's funny because I had to make a couple of decisions in the past since I last talked to you, and I said, I remember saying to myself, I deserve more than this.
mm-hmm,
It was regarding just somewhere to live, and I said, I deserve more. And at first I felt guilty. And then
right.
I was like, no, I really do, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So keep really, for you, this is really where is your spiritual journey is taking you, is really how you can reinvest in yourself and show the universe, all you
Hmm.
want is to provide, but I know that I need to provide for myself. This is how today, this is how I can show and lead by example. Okay. And the best idea is to think of all those women, all the, that are neglecting themselves. That in the
Yeah.
world today, women are always pressured to give more of themselves, to do more all the time.
Mhm.
It's not enough that they are wife or they are mother. They need to work. They need to do this. They need to do that. And so by us, the women that are on that journey, that receive this message, we're helping them, which giving them the permission
Mhm.
to to care for themselves, to love themselves. And as we do,
I do that a lot with the young ladies at work that are like 17, you
okay,
know.
yes, because
So
today, we are constantly shown from the time of a young girl that we need to be perfectly beautiful, we need to do this, we need to do that. No, we don't need to do anything. And really the answer, the question of the beginning, to be or not to be, uh, and perfect, imperfect, it just be, just be,
mhm.
just be, just breathe.
Right,
And that's simple, but it's probably one of the hardest things for
right.
most people to do, because today we are really living a life, and for people that listen, that is doing, 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 doing.
Yeah.
If we don't do enough, we don't. We seemingly we are nobody.
Yeah. And going through the process, when we go through processes, I've been working on that, where I just trying to go through the process instead of letting
Yes,
my emotions lead the process.
that,
I just
that
try to go through it.
that's a good one, and it's something that I must remind myself as well. Many people, for example, they, they're not so much. Many times I see people bringing, discover what is your true call, discover what who you truly are. And for some people, that's not even the question. They know who they are, they know what, but it's to go through the process, because what I had to learn means doing what I do since I was really a teenage girl. Okay, I study and I got certification and studied it, but at the core, what I'm doing today was the same thing that I was doing when I was 16 or 17. Okay, but is to realize that, knowing that, I always thought, okay, that's it, you know who you are, you're going to be that light warrior for people, but the process has been long and is still ongoing. And to remind yourself, what matters the most is not to get to the destination, it's the journey.
That's
and,
right.
and to and to know that it doesn't matter, do you affect millions of people, or do you manifest millions of dollars, is not the point. Is to every day taking a step forward and knowing that we do our best, and to be present in the joy of today. I think I left it all on the table, what I was supposed to do with where I was and what was presented to me. So just to remind ourselves that. And I read, I think it was a few days ago, somebody posted, one of my friends posted, the day you will see that it was hard and you did a tremendous job. And he said it all. Just we don't give ourselves credit, because
No,
we
we don't.
we we don't see the finish line. So many times we
Mhm.
think, okay, we did nothing. That's not true.
Right.
So like again, is this idea of be or not to be, which is a Kabbalistic also concept of mati velo mati, is to be and not to be at that place. Is like, it might look we are not perfect, but yet our perfect self is right in front of us all the time. So just to believe it, and just to take the step. It doesn't matter, do we really reach it or not, it's there. So just to carry within us. Okay, Laura.
Yes.
Well, it's always lovely to see you. Keep in
Same to
touch,
you.
and have a great evening then. And I'm going to share a few tricks then for this idea of how we can step out of this negative thoughts. Okay.
I
Have
think
a
that's
great
great.
night. Fantastic.
Okay, you
Bye,
too.
my friend.
Thank you.
See you soon. My pleasure. All right. So, Donna Marie, let me post. I have a message. Hi, can I have a reading, please? I can go live. I'm in bed. No problem, Donna Marie. I'm going to do a little bit teaching. Hang around. Just listen. Maybe, hopefully, I can share things that you haven't heard before, or remind some you do. And then I will pull a card to see what vibration I'm getting and what message I'm getting for you. Okay? And if, just like Donna Marie, you're interested, to interact, or just to see what the light of the divine is showing us, feel free either to come live and or to just send a message. That's completely fine as well. Let me just see who's around. Hey Sarah, oh, I'm so happy to see you around. And Monica is here. Oh, I'm glad. Okay, and Caroline. So good evening, everyone that is there. So let me continue. So we talked about this idea that death really is about not truly be living. It's not the end of life, because anyway, there's not such a thing as the end of life. And many times we are not living because we're stuck. We're just stuck in our mind. We're living the same movie over and over again, and it affects us every ways possible. And eventually, God forbid, it affects us in our health, in our body, in our relationship, and eventually they spread. This is really what it is about. So, like I said before, it should not be to transform thought just by thought, because chances are the more we think we want to get rid of those negative thoughts, the more we think of this negative thought. Okay, so we need to find systems that help us purify ourselves, because what's happened, the body needs purification, the mind needs purification, our heart needs purification, and our environment needs purification, because we know everything is energy. So the energy that gets stuck here, gets caught in the body, also transpire around. Have you ever been walking in a house and you feel, oh my gosh, what's going on here? You cannot even set foot because the energy is so heavy. Same with our own environment. So I'm about to share different techniques that I learned that are here to help us purify. But the best thing we can know, it has to do with moving things. So there's different way to move things, to move the energy. Okay. One of the first way that have been introduced many years ago is to use the power of healing water, whether from the ocean, a lake, a pool, and sometimes even a shower if there is nothing else, to change your energy. In the Kabbalistic teaching, there is different meditations that are used as we delve in and come out 1, 3 times, 7 times, 11 times, depending what meditation we're using. Now, because it's a very specific teaching, the teaching of Kabbalah, the only thing you can meditate, if you decide to give a try to this idea of using water as a way of purification, is to visualize yourself as you go under the water, that you are going back into the womb of your mother, but really connecting to the spiritual water. Okay, we talked in the time of creation, the separation of the water of above and below. And it's really to say that water is the energy on the physical level, that is the energy of mercy and love and rejuvenation. Okay. Another thing that you can use if you want to shift your own energy in your body or in your house is to use sage or incense. Okay, and in the same family, aromatherapy, which can clear the energy really through the smoke, removing. And again, there is different technique, and if you're interested to know more, you can always contact me. This is also a service that I'm offering, either in the past going to places or sending the information, for you to do that on your own. Okay. Another thing when you feel stuck in your energy is, as we said, using meditation and crystals to realign your different chakras. And this is also something that I've been doing for many years, to kind of pinpoint where in the body the energy gets stuck. Many times you will notice because there is some either physical or emotional elements that can be determined and that we can transform through different meditation, mantras, and crystals to change that. Like I said, we have smell, we have earth, and we have sound, just like the singing bowl. This is something that you can do. Another thing you can do if you don't have a singing bowl is you can take just one of your pot of your pan, or if you have a drums, and tap it to your rhythm and go around your house and shift the energy. Okay, talking about sounds, it goes with movement, dancing, jumping, getting your adrenal moving. This is a great way, to shift your energy, and it can be therefore any time of exercise that can shift your energy. And And so we need to understand that we need the body to access the shifting of the mind. And I want to share a study that I read not too long ago that called about mindfulness. There was two groups that was asked to watch some cartoons to score their level of funniness. However, each group was giving one assignment. The first group were supposed to use a pencil and stick it in their mouth, forcing them to smile. The second group was supposed to use a pencil and block it above their lip and holding what was making them frown. Guess what was the result? The people that were forced to laugh found the cartoon much more funny because when we move the body, we also affect our emotion and our emotion affect our thinking. So we cannot just work on the thought by changing our thought. We gotta get moving, okay? And this is how we can really change our mood. And this is how we call it a wrap for tonight. So I see here I have Caroline. Hi, Caroline. I think it's your first time with me tonight. Do you want to tell me a little bit more about you? And if you want to come in, you can just click on the blue link at the top of the description. I don't know from which location you're coming. If you're coming as part of my friends, my followers on my page, or Kristen or Joseph. But either way, you can find the link on the top. And if you want to come, you are more than welcome so I can get to meet you. Okay. Just want to say thank you from Laura. Thank you, my friend. It's always such a pleasure to see you. It's your first time, Caroline is saying. Well, welcome. Welcome to Intimate Conversation with Ilanit. You can find all that I'm sharing completely free of any charge on my page. I am what we call an intuitive empath. I also have a classical training in psychology and coaching, and so I mix the two to have really kind of meeting between a coach and a spiritual guide and trying to make it very grounded because I do believe that spirituality is part of our birthright, that there is nothing uncommon by having intuition, even visions, anything like that, whatever is coming from the divine to guide us on the journey and just allow us to become co-creator of our own destiny. So, and here Laura is say welcome, Caroline. So that's fantastic. So since we're there, I know that Donna Marie asked earlier. So you're in bed, Donna Marie, and I hope you're doing good. Thank you for tuning in tonight. Let me use. I feel this deck, I ordered some new decks. I'm super excited about it. One that full, and again, like I said, is about just getting messages uh, from the divine to communicate with us. So I got a new deck that shows the power of crystal, which, you know, means you should see my house. It's filled with them. This is one of the latest I received as a birthday present. It's called Blue Ilanit. Yeah, my name is Ilanit and this is Ilanit. And we know that the color blues usually connect to the throat chakra, is to allow self-expression or anything is blocking us. And in that case, it's to dispel any energy blockages and that prevent us to be attuned to our true self, to our true voice. Is also helping us through meditation and to recall dreams, I see. And really help us access astral planes and connect to our guides. So I'm the type of person I always told, and I know there's more people like me that never per se met someone on the other side telling me I was a guide. I was very lucky to have a spiritual teacher for many years, and really much more feeling direct discuss with the source, you know, with the divine. Like I said, the only time closer that I felt a divine being present was in that tragical event where I was in the hospital, really feeling a presence that was surrounded with golden light. Do you want even to assume that who I know was really that being? But people that are familiar with such experience, uh, I'm sure they know who I'm talking about. The ultimate light warrior of the light work family. So clear de la marée. I'm going to use those cards that are supposed to be for message that bring healing to the body, mind, and soul. So if you want to send the energy towards me, across your legs, just take a deep breath in. Okay. The message you got, it says is allowing appreciation, and is to realize that life is much like a wheel. And like I said in the beginning, life is not automatically easy, but is to have inside of us the belief, first of all, that it is for the good and it is for our greatest good. But in order to do that, we need to unlock to our minds from all those negative chatter saying, look, what's happening to you, what's going on, life isn't fair, look what after all the things that you've been doing, all the good deeds that you've been doing, how come this happening to you? Why is this person treating you that way? And is to lose the point that the more we are loved as messenger of the divine on the earth, as co-creator, we must go through steps of growth and things that will come to challenge us to get to the next level. The best image I can give you is like a basketball player in the NBA trying to lose the championship. Every time a team meets another team adversary, do they curse that this team is so good and so amazing? Or they understand it's just because they themselves are getting better, so they are meeting greatest opponents. Okay? So it's to remind yourself, and it's also to understand that it's all about a system. The more we have appreciation for everything, can we wake up the morning and from the moment and say, oh no, the alarm is ringing, saying, well, another day, or thank you, bed, for night of sleep, and really trying to look at the positive in every situation, and to understand the more we train ourselves to be into that consciousness of saying life is not happening against me but for me, and even the most challenging moments are still part of a journey to get us stronger, to show our bravery, the more we can suddenly realize that all the gift, and the more we open ourselves, the more things are coming in a positive way toward us. I remember, for years I couldn't understand why I even had guided people that seemingly was becoming more successful than what I was feeling I was. And then I was reminded that whoever you helped in life, everything that they will do from that moment, all the people they will help, all the good deed they will do, if you really affected their life for the best, part of it will come to your credit. So it doesn't matter that you are more successful, less successful, because anyway, this is completely subjective and illusionary, is to remind yourself that if that person is successful, maybe somehow you helped that, you participated for sure. And so it's to your benefit, is in your bank account. So just to do things in a place of being grateful that we can share. Appreciation is also that, is to be grateful of the thing that we have been doing so far and that we were giving that chance, even if we don't see automatically the exact result happening at this moment. To know that the energy that was sent is never lost and will always come back to us. And it's just like the idea of a boomerang. Whatever we put out there will just come back. Maybe not directly by the person we shared with, but the universe will make sure we are provided. So I hope this was helpful, Donna Marie. For whatever reason, is it just because it's late for you or you're not feeling well? I hope you get better, you get some good rest, and please feel free to catch up and follow up with me. Thank you. So Caroline also is asking if you could get a reading. Absolutely, Caroline. Let me take this deck for you. If you just want to send me, mentally projecting your energy, your question toward me, or simply ask to receive the message that you need to hear tonight. Okay. Take a deep breath in for me. All right. So it's interesting. You see, sometimes cards they jump, and I guess it's the message that needed to be to hear. So this card connects to the third chakra, the solar plexus, and it's to remind you about your power. It's to remind you to know that you are your own little sun, wherever you shine in the dark, that you are a light worker, possibly, that you have a power to affect really people around you. And so really many times it's about having the humility, and yet at the same time, same subject as tonight, to be, not to be humble, but yet to be confident about the light within ourselves. Is not to be confident from the point of view of the ego standpoint, but from the point of view that we are representatives of the divine. And because the divine is this amazing, flawless, constant, everlasting light force, because just like we are a little stone out of the mountain, we carry within us that DNA, and we need to honor it. And it's to remind ourselves that whether we are on the open, whether we are revealed or not, and I can tell you a lot about that, because for me it's been just a brand new journey to come into that seemingly front stage. It doesn't mean that what we do is not noticed, is not appreciated, and is not or will not be rewarded. Okay, so this is much more about a confirmation. This is what I'm getting, the angle I'm getting for you, the confirmation that you have a unique gift, that you need to continue nourishing it and having faith that you are doing it. Okay, it's not about you should do it. For you, it's much more about having the confidence that you're doing it and it will be rewarded. Okay, so please let me know how does it talk to you. So and if not tonight, maybe to come at some other time. And really, as a woman, I would say Caroline is to connect into the warrior, the princess warrior, like Zina inside of you, to know that you are powerful. So therefore, not to shy away or not let, I'm getting right now, don't let maybe people in your surrounding or just, like uh, thought or your own ideas crippling in, telling you that you are not such a bright light. Okay, and really to have faith and to keep pushing. Remember, energy that is sent into the universe is never get lost. Okay, and so it will come back to you whenever you need it, wherever you need it. Okay, so continue is really to remind you to be courageous, to not give up, and to keep on taking the step. And if you do the work, like I've been doing personally for a year, just for the sake of your own spiritual growth, with the appreciation that why I'm so gifted to be able to do what I do and to have the awareness that I have that so many people don't have. You're already one of the luckiest person in the world to have this awareness, to have this awakening, to walk life with that sense of divine accompanying you all the time. So I wish you all luck into your journey. Please let me know and come check in. I come in usually on regular basis on Tuesday at 8 p.m. But sometimes at random time I come maybe for a little hello, a little meditation here and there, whatever. Like again, big and intuitive. You just follow the message when they come, and don't let you not act upon it. Okay. So I think that would be it for tonight. Would like to wish you all really a beautiful, beautiful night. To remind yourself, oh, you're so welcome, Caroline. So welcome. That you can keep in touch with me and benefit from all the message of empowerment that are message that are channeled, come to me on regular basis, that you can use, to lift your spirit. Because when I was saying, I think it's always about is really about continue it constantly to play a positive record to kind of neutralize the negative record. And so if we know negativity is 70% present in our thought, we need to do as much. And like I say, it's becoming mindfully fit is like going on the treadmill or exercising to bring positive thought into our lives. So you can connect to me here on facebook.com at IC by Ilanit. And if we are in touch, I can also tell you more about how to work with me on one-on-one. Like I say to people that I'm working with, I like to see myself as being the starting block to help people, start on their journey, to have really a bag of goodies that can really support them into that walk in the path of life. So I want to wish you all a good night. Thank you, Laura. Good night to you. Good night, Caroline, and all of those that were here tonight. And I will see you soon. Good night.